Welcome in here to the Real Spiel live show from the Real Spiel podcast. Roman Kelly here with our co-host Trevor, Kelsey, and special guest on the show, Rashawn Myers, today, as we are missing Kendall Fuller, our other co-host on the show today, unfortunately. But we've got Rashawn joining us. Trevor, Kelsey, Roman Kelly, the Real Spiel live show. We're back. First edition of 2026, unfortunately to say, but we're glad to be back. It's exciting because there's a lot to discuss. There's a lot to chat about. There is a lot to debate, fellas. There's a lot to maybe even argue about here today because we've got a win over Virginia Tech we're going to get into, and we're going to be previewing the matchup tonight against the Duke Blue Devils at 7:30, 8?
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
7. I don't know why I thought it was at 7:30, but that's what we're going to be getting into tonight or today on the show, fellas. And I'm excited. I'm ready to get into it because Trevor, it's been too long since we've gotten to discuss Louisville men's basketball on the Real Spill live show. And we know a lot of us have been going through different endeavors here. There's been the weather as well, which we've all had to go through the last few days, but Louisville is maybe turning a new page, and they've got the opportunity to do something special tonight and kind of solidify that page being turned in their season with this game against Duke. Trevor, Kelsey, how are you doing today, sir? How have you been? How has life been treating you since our last stream?
Well, I mean, as typical as it feels in the last few years of my life, that January is like treats me like I'm wearing milk bone underwear in a doggy dog world. Pretty much. I mean, it's well, a couple of Januaries ago I went on a little directed vacation for a month. Congratulations on your job as a result of that. And after that, now this January I spent 3 weeks of it in the hospital. So I had hopefully not what Bruce has, but had some pneumonia. I remember we did a show, and pretty much since November I've had it. And doctor says that's what put me in the hospital. I think it was the stress of watching Ali Khalifa do anything but pass the ball, because I want him in the game to watch him pass the ball, because then he makes a pass. It's like Viagra to me. Like it literally gets me hard. But when he does anything else, literally anything else, shoot, even when he shoots the ball or he tries to play defense or boxes out, it just makes me want to put my head through a window in a moving car that hasn't stopped yet. So, but other than that, all that aside, doing good. I've lost a little weight because of it. I actually lost almost 100 pounds. Most weight I've lost since I lost my ex-girlfriend. And I haven't had a cigarette in this whole year. Yeah,
That's
at
great.
least on the right. At least on the right hand, I was approved for left-handed versions because I was like, Doc, listen, okay. Yeah,
For your
I got an Eagles
cataracts. It's for your
offense that can't move the
cataracts.
ball worth a shit. Okay, I need something for stress. You're either giving me nicotine or you're giving me one of the two here, people. Okay. Otherwise, I'm just going to come back here. What's worth living? You saw the Eagles offense, Rashawn. You know what it's like. You're a
Ooh,
Raiders fan.
fair.
It's like watching them in every play.
That is absolutely fair.
But you're going to get Lamar, so suck it here eventually.
Fingers crossed.
Outside of that, Louisville's looking good. At least one Kelsey's looking healthy right now, and that being Pat. And I'm looking forward to being home and I got back home finally over yesterday or Saturday afternoon, and looking forward to watching the game finally at home and watching this Louisville beat Duke. Because like Lou Brown once said, in Major League, one of those days we're going to get those guys. We got one of those days we're going to figure them out, and Lou Brown figured them out. I don't know if we had to put a picture of our owners stripping in the locker room to motivate the team, but we're going to figure it out. They beat the Yankees in that movie, and we're going to beat Duke today. Rashawn, how you been, buddy? Come here, give me a hug. Come on.
Appreciate it, Trev, man. It's so good to see you, man. Yeah, you are. You're looking healthy and wealthy and wise. So
I'm gonna be on that court showing you those Larry Bird moves here in about another month or two.
I know. I want to see it. We're gonna get me, you, and Cam. We're gonna get out there. Absolutely, man. But
I'm still doing half court though.
The
knees still know how old I am.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That is fair. Now I won't do you too bad, till you get them knees together. But no, man. Roman hit me up and asked me to come on. It's been a while since we got together, so we haven't done like a breakdown 502 or anything like that. So just a chance to get on and talk before this game, especially in the aftermath of Michael Brown. I could not pass it up. Anytime Roman Kelly comes and hits me up, I always get excited, whether it's the run-in with Roman or, doing a spot on the Rutherford show. Anytime Roman comes to call, and I try to clear my calendar because that's big time. You know what I'm saying?
No, not big. I do like to try to make conversations I have about, whatever I'm having with my colleagues as interesting as possible. I like to make the discussion as lively as I can. So I really do appreciate you always opening up your schedule for me, Rashawn, and allowing, yourself to come on and talk whenever I need you to or want you to. So it's really appreciated. Always.
I didn't even know Rashawn was going to be here. I'm with Rashawn though. When Roman calls, I'm excited. It's like getting that booty call, And then I get on here and he's like, Rashawn's coming too. I'm like, you're bringing your sister with you? I mean, that's how it felt. I mean, I was like excited. I'm like, sweet.
It's like getting that text saying, that you up text. It's like, yes, I am.
That's how it is.
You didn't have to tell me Rashawn's going to be here. He had me sold. But
that's how it is. Fellas, like Rashawn, you just mentioned, we got to see Michael Brown back in action. One of the more exciting things we've gotten to see recently in Louisville basketball, because we know what our record is with him. We know what our record is without him. I do want to just go ahead and say, obviously, we got the victory. If you're watching this, you probably know that 85-71. Michael Brown in his first game back, Rashawn, first game back, goes 7 for 11 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, got to the free throw line, 6 assists, opened up things for his teammates. And that was, through the shaky offense we kind of had at the start of the game. I guess not even shaky. We got good looks, but we weren't really getting to the rim consistently at the very, very start of the game. And a couple of the open looks didn't really get to drop. And then a couple of bad shots went up as well. He cleared those out of his system, got that out of his system early. He hit the my bad on the one that hit the front rim, got the offensive rebound, kicked it back out to Conwell. He was all over the place. It looked like the back was very, very healthy. Trevor, I'm going to start with you before we get to Rashawn. What did you think? I mean, you probably had to do a lot of rewatching and looking up some stats and trying to figure out what this team was in the time that we didn't have Michael in the games you didn't get to see, or get to see live. What was the emotions? What were the emotions like for you watching Michael back out there? Because I didn't think he was going to start, going into the weekend or going into the weekend, but we get word he's going to be in the starting lineup. Vibes increase immediately. Trevor, what was on your mind? What was going through your mind?
I mean, I don't want to be Louisville without Brown is still not a bad team. It's a different team. It's a team that has a few more flaws. It's kind of a burger with nothing on it now. I mean, it's plain. It's good. Not bad. You can eat a burger plain and be happy, but when you add Brown to the lineup, I mean he's the cheese, bacon, lettuce, whatever else you want to put on it, Red Robin style. He's all that and in a bag of chips, as that me and Rashawn used to say back in the day. To this team, I mean, he just makes everyone better. I mean, especially in the half court where Louisville struggled without him, particularly in offense. I mean, where they just have not been able to his ability. There's just one possession I don't even, that sticks out, like where he's took a guy on a little crossover, got in the lane, kicked it up to Frew in the corner. I think it was Frew, and then he swung it right away to Conwell, who we know can hit the shot and is as good a shooter as we've had here since the Taekwondo Dean. And he's wide open, and as a result of he's set, he's got a good look, and he knocks it down. And it's the shot that we're not getting without Brown in the lineup. I mean, that's just how good he is, and what he can do himself offensively is that's great. That's gravy. But just him being in there and the impact he has on the way this team is efficiently plays offense efficiently, especially in the half court. Then it's just, I mean, again, it's just night and day. I mean, there's no really, I mean, there's no way of looking at it. I mean, it's like a video that's as clear as day. So yeah, having him back, I think, especially coming back at least one game, you'd think you'd maybe see Rust you didn't. And Vatek is a tonight with going on the road at Duke's a horse of a different color, but the only game we've lost with him was the Tennessee game, and he struggled in that game on the road and had some foul trouble early that wasn't completely his fault, but it did knock him out of the game. I think it was 2 of the 3 fouls they called him the first time were just horrible fouls.
The fouls on Woolley, you're thinking of the fouls on Woolley in the Tennessee game.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm talking about the game that got called on Brown in the Tennessee game, that little white dude flopper they had that was getting them called. Or maybe I'm thinking Indiana game.
Indiana was you're thinking of Indiana. Yeah.
Number 5, that was Indiana. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Yes.
I apologize to
Tennessee was the first game without Michael.
Yeah, Tennessee was the first one where Michael was ruled out.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking Indiana game then. I was just thinking of that game, but I got mixed up a little bit. Okay, I'm having to transition off nicotine and everything. Okay?
You're good.
Different lifestyle. I'm eating broccoli 3 times a day.
Oh wow! Look at you.
Yeah. And Google Kevin from The Office if you want to know what that looks like. But I digressed, and I shouldn't have rambled on. It doesn't take away from the fact, and I don't think Rashawn will disagree with me, is that this team is just, it's not an obvious, it shouldn't be a too obvious statement. It's just so much better with him on the court, is impactful. I think, I said it before, this team I think can be a second round Sweet 16 without Brown. They're a Final Four championship team with Brown. That kind of says best, I think. Rashawn?
Yeah. I mean, for me, honestly, I agree with you. Michael makes this team different. And I think the biggest thing that I noticed, or the biggest thing that jumped out to me, and I think that it even took his own teammates by surprise, was how much more Michael forces the tempo of the team to go a lot faster. Like, he plays the game so quickly and he pushes the ball so quickly, regardless of whether he's attacking off the dribble, if he's just pushing the ball ahead as the ball's getting inbounded and he's throwing the ball up the court. Louisville plays about probably about 8 to 10 seconds per possession quicker with him on the court. Like, he makes everything happen faster. And when you do that, when you're playing that fast, it really keeps the defense on its toes because you can't relax at all. And I think that's one of the biggest things that, with Michael being out, Louisville's tempo got slowed down tremendously compared to the tempo that they were playing with earlier in the year. If you go back and you watch Louisville's tempo against Indiana, you look at Louisville's tempo in some of those earlier games, and you look at how quickly they were getting the ball up the court, they were getting it in transition, they were getting shots off. That tempo got way slowed down after Michael went out with the injury. And, at the time, I really didn't think about it or didn't really notice it. But once Michael got back, that first game out there, it was just night and day different how much faster the ball moved, how much quicker the ball moved, in the half court, how quickly it moved in transition. Everything was just kicked up about 3 or 4 notches. And honestly, I think that's one of the biggest things that is really going to help unlock. I mean, it looked like guys like Woolley, guys like Conwell and McNeely almost got shocked that they were getting the ball so quickly and getting it, getting open.
McNeely wasn't ready.
They weren't ready to shoot the ball.
McNeely wasn't ready.
Literally.
I don't have these stats, Rashawn. You might be looking at stats. Something that's driving me up with McNeely is that I don't know the difference of his shot percentage when he's set shooting, opposed to when he's coming off. Even if he's open coming off a screen,
yeah,
he just doesn't feel like he feels comfortable. He's got to be kind of just set in his shot, and when he does that, I feel like his percentage is off the charts better than when he's coming off any other motion.
No, Trevor, you're absolutely right. When he's fading sideways or fading back or, not getting himself set, his percentage has gone down a lot this year. And I think that he got into the kind of those bad habits because he wasn't getting as many easy looks while Michael was out.
It was the only way they could get him open looks. But even open looks that way, he is definitely not as good a shooter that
exactly. And he would even rush shots where he was open. But I think that now that they've got at least, that's why I think it was so important to get him back for Virginia Tech, because, both Isaac and Ryan struggled. I remember early on in that game, I believe they were combined like 4 of 16 from 3. They weren't shooting the ball very well to begin. And I believe Ryan was like 2 of 9 and, McNeely was like 2 of 6 from the 3. At one point during the game. But I do honestly think it was just because they were not used to, getting the ball that quickly and getting it open to where all they had to do was focus on shooting the basketball. So, I think of all the great things that Michael brings himself in terms of offensively, in terms of his finishing, being able to get fouled and get to the free throw line, I think the pace and the tempo that he brings and the open shots that he generates because of that tempo, that's going to be the biggest thing that really, really helps Louisville out. So
we're just pointing out the guards that he makes better. We haven't even brought up the fact that Frew, makes him almost look like, he's like Hakeem Olajuwon out there. He's far from it, obviously, but
yeah.
There was one play I think it was even hilarious when he got Ollie the ball wide up right in front of the rim, and I don't think he didn't know what to do. He's like almost in shock.
Yeah,
he forgot to shoot the ball.
Yeah,
if I remember that game, I'm thinking that was the Virginia Tech game. So.
It's just the table setting that he does, and
Drew's a solid pick and roll guy. It's just we have not had. He is. He's going to go. He can go from a guy that can get you 8 or 9 points without Brown in the lineup to get you 18 to 19 with him in the lineup without even having to do anything but be the benefit of how good Brown is.
Yeah, Trevor and Rashawn, I think you both make brilliant points there. Trevor, the point you make there about just having someone who can actually conduct the offense now, and then Rashawn, the point you make about the pace of play. And that was, one thing that I had noted down in my head that I knew I was going to come into the show with, just about what we saw against Virginia Tech specifically, that I could immediately feel the difference in, and it was the pace of play in the half-court offense. When we actually had those slow, broken-down plays where we didn't get that first or second option of a look from our first couple of pass attempts when we got into our set, then we put the ball on the floor, and we still saw the ball move with pace from player to player, and players are moving. And another thing you saw when that was happening was the attention's not on Ryan Conwell now. When Adrian Woolley's out there, the attention's just not on them. They know everyone before Michael's back. When one of those two guys puts the ball on the floor, they're trying to get to the rim or they're going to kick it out, stay home, hound that player when you're on them off the ball. And that's what the scouting report is. Now, when you've got a player like Michael Brown, who a 3-on-4 transition where we've got 3 and you guys have 4, but his man's on him, that's a fast break for him still. Right. That's a completely different level of speed that we now get to play with. And in return, in the Pat Kelsey offense, that leads to so many more pass attempts when we get into the half court. And like you also mentioned, Rashawn, the defense stays on their toes. You get them shifting, and now you're getting closeouts. You're putting Adrian Woolley, Isaac McNeely, Ryan Conwell in easier positions to make decisions versus them having to go and get to an advantageous position at the rim off of 3 dribbles, right? That's tough for any college basketball player going up against the college defense. And they struggled efficiency wise, trying to get good looks before Michael had gotten back. And Ryan Conwell, 5 for 14 is not great. 4 for 11 isn't great. He did miss a couple of threes that I felt like should have gone in, just the types of looks that he gets. Then you see the step back, right? You see the quick release on the closeout when a defender's in his face, and he makes those. It was like a loud 15 points because I think the ability for him to also get those 6 rebounds. I think he had no offensive rebounds in my head. I thought he did, but he had a good game because he didn't force anything at all, and he didn't have to. And that's because Michael Brown is out there commanding the attention from his ability as a creator from the defense. Completely changes everything for the backcourt. Like we saw, like we knew, like this team could be, right? The reasons we all feel like this could be a team that can make a deep March run is because of what our offensive ability is and our offensive approach is and the skill we have in our backcourt to go out there and produce what they have to produce to win games. It starts with Michael Brown. It ends with Michael Brown. I hate to say that about a freshman. I don't really like feeling that way about a freshman. I don't think that's necessarily the best recipe for success in college basketball. But when you have the experience around him that we have in Ryan Conwell, Javon Hadley, who in his last handful of games, I mean, we need to give a shout out to Javon Hadley, who's been assertive and aggressive, partially because he's getting to play in his true position more and getting to make more decisions out on the perimeter as a ball handler versus as a player down low with no dribble on the post with a man on his back. It's just not his comfortable game. He can do it because he's got the ability, but he's out there comfortable when his defender's in front of him and he's getting to make decisions and stay as a screener, roll, quick, get the ball, go to the basket, quick pass out, relocate. That's more Javon Hadley's game, and now he gets to do that more. So I guess I'm not even going to say like the Javon Hadley situations because Pat Kelsey's finally gone to the double big. We mentioned this before we went live. He's playing bigger. He's keeping size on the floor out there pretty much at all times, not going to those super, super small lineups anymore, which is also really nice to see. Fru, Khalifa playing at the same time. I'm not mad at it. When Valley's been shooting the way he has been lately, not really so much in this game, all that much, but I think did he hit one in this game? Did he go?
Yes, he was 1 of 3. But
one of 3. I thought
he's shooting over 50% from 3 in conference play. So I mean,
which is
Ali Khalifa.
Oh,
Ali Khalifa. Yeah, he's shooting the ball very well right now.
He was like 5. He had like 5 of 6 against Duke in their first matchup or something. Its percentage just kind of bends that a little bit on the curve, but. Hey, if he's wide open, I mean, I have no problem with him taking 1 or 2 of them a game, but playing those two together can be problemsome. And with Hadley, listen, I think Hadley, I mean, he's the essential glue guy. I mean, he's first of all, he's like 28 years old, so he knows his role. He's been down this road up and down more times than we can probably imagine. And the only sometimes I worry about with him is that it's not as much him as it's Coach Kelsey needs to not be sometimes as loyal to him. In certain matchups, the Arkansas game comes to mind, I think, is when I thought maybe one of the games I feel like he maybe played too many minutes and in a lineup that was a little too big for a bad matchup for him. And sometimes I worry that sometimes, early on, I think I've seen it less and less seasons gone on, but early in the season, I felt like the coaching staff wanted to be so much more loyal to Hadley by getting him out there and understanding getting him minutes. But and like you both said, and I agree. I mean, if the other team is going big on big, he can't be out there. I mean, he just struggles unless you can somehow get them, with Brown back and go small and go kind of the Cal Kirk, Hadley in the corner, kind of pull the offensive way thing. But even then, it's not going to work in large doses. You're going to have to match them sometimes going big. And that's where we do. I know need Bruce to come back for that because. As much as I love seeing kind of like when Ollie's out there, it's like he needs to be out there like the one times when Brown's not out there, and we can kind of change up the offense a little bit and go that more high post and more cutting kind of offense with or without Brown out there. And that mainly said because also as much as I joked with Ollie, I love watching him with the ball in his hands, but he's just so bad defensively. And that's going to be the issue. We've been talking about offense the whole time with Duke coming tonight. I don't think offense is going to be our problem tonight. If anything, if we're going to have a problem tonight, it's going to be on defense and what we're going to do defensively. And Hadley is a perfect example of not playing tonight that much because he's a horrible matchup for Cameron Boozer. And I don't know who we're going to put on Cameron Boozer to begin with. Rashawn, you know this reference. I watch Cameron Boozer. He reminds me of like watching John Wallace during the '96 tournament. I mean, not just that whole seat, like he's that run John Wallace made in that '96 tournament for Syracuse, being 6'8", 6'9", and can just beat you facing up, back to the basket. It's scary how good he is. I don't know how good an NBA is going to be, but it's scary how good he is.
Right he now, just played. He just. I mean,
he latered us last time, right? Didn't he go like 13 of 13 on us or something?
He did. So he had a very good game. I know he went.
Yeah.
He went pretty crazy the first time around. And the thing about Boozer is he just plays the game the right way. He doesn't do anything flashy.
No.
He shot the 3-ball well against us in our game. That's not necessarily something that he does a lot of, but he will take the open 3 if needed. I would definitely not say that he has a perimeter-based game. He likes to get the ball going downhill or get it on a post-up or get rebound putbacks. But
he's got a mid-range jump shot, though.
He's got a nice mid-range. I mean, he can do everything well.
Yeah.
Like he's not ultra athletic, but he's strong, he's smart, and he knows how to handle the ball. He plays like he has an old man game at 18 years old.
Well,
I mean,
he's remember not, Dad. Was
you know where he got it.
Yeah. He plays under control. He plays smart. He plays hard, and he's a tremendous hustle man around the boards rebounding. So I agree with you, Trevor. And the thing is, I don't know what Louisville's going to do in terms of that matchup. I know that Zugris got some run, and I know they did the double post with Khalifa and Frew. To me, with Roots being out, with him not being there, the obvious answer to me would be, to try to get Case and Pryor out there. But he just, for whatever reason, I mean, Case and Pryor did not log a minute against Virginia Tech. And I don't know what's going on.
Though?
But my thing is that Zugris has got out there. Zugris, Vangelis Zugris played, 7 minutes in this game. And Case and Pryor didn't play any. And I think that's just kind of telling about right now, for whatever reason, the coaching staff just does not
trust him.
I don't know. I don't know why he's playing so little, but he's the body type, he's the size, he's the athleticism matchup that you would want against Duke. But right now, I don't think the coaching staff trusts Kaysen out there on the court. I mean, Roman, do you disagree with me at all?
No, I don't. I see what you're seeing as well when you watch him. I mean, he's hit some jumpers in the last couple of games, which I think, not last couple of games. In the last couple of games, he's actually gotten some good tick. He's had a couple of buckets. There's too many decisions on the defensive end, Rashawn, that take him out of the play. You're trying to gamble. You're trying to cheat on a hedge, right? You're trying to hedge longer than you need to, and you're not getting back into position when you need to. Certain things like that. That I just don't think that what he's offering on the offensive end is outweighing the lapses that are coming on the defensive side. And that's kind of where I think the trust maybe comes in. I think when you have a player who can dribble at that size, you need to get him out on the floor just because of what he can create offensively for matchup issues,
My only pushback against that, Rome, is, and I agree with everything you're saying, is that it really feels like he's not been given any time to get extended minutes on the court and work through the issues, to work through some of the bad decisions, to work through some of the bad defensive rotations. He's almost been on that kind of freshman, as soon as the freshman makes an error or makes a mistake, he's going straight to the bench. Like anytime he does anything wrong, he's immediately being pulled. And he's not being given the leash that a veteran, a fifth-year senior, would normally be given, especially coming off the fact that he was hurt. I mean, he's coming off of a knee injury, and it's not like he even started the year. He didn't play his first game until the end of November.
Was it the Duke game? He did the headbutt, got the flagrant foul.
Yes, he got the double foul. Yeah. I mean, but it's like to me,
they called the guy. Yeah, they got a call right after that too.
They called the double technical. But I mean, to me, it's like it feels like when Kaysen is out there, it's like he's trying to get all of his stuff in because he knows he's going to get pulled really quick. Does that make sense? Like, I just wish that he would have been given more time to work through some of these knucklehead issues and some of these bad rotations. And I think we could have been further along. But for whatever reason, the coaches have just decided that I would rather give Javon Hadley, 32, 34, 38 minutes and just give Kaysen none. I mean, and that's their decision to make. But the one thing I will say,
play Hadley over Pryor as well.
I mean, but my issue is this: like, why did he come back? Why did you bring him back?
I mean,
that's my question, because I know that he's not making the money that he made last year. But if you weren't going to play him, you should have let him go. And you should let him leave, because he's a guy that was expected to at least be a 15 to 18 minute per game rotational guy. And right now you feel like you can't get 2 to 3 minutes out of him. If that's the reason, if that's the case, you should have let him walk. And Louisville should have went to fill that spot with somebody else that could be utilized off the bench.
Rashawn, let me ask you this. Before we answer this question here from S. King, shout out to S. King in the Twitch chat, always joining us live on the Twitch stream, only viewer right now on the Twitch side of things. We always appreciate that, sir.
Shout out.
Great question here that we're going to get into.
Come on.
We're going to get into this question next here, King, in just one moment. But I want to ask Rashawn, do you think that this is maybe a situation of Case and Pryor not – do you think that they maybe don't trust that he has a true – feel for the offense that somebody in his position should have?
I mean, any question that's been given about Case and Pryor over the last several press conferences, the only thing that Coach Kelsey ever says is, right now, he says, I appreciate, Cason's attitude. And I appreciate the way he's been a good teammate. And I agree with that. His body language has been great on the bench. He's never been sulking. He's always 100%. Been very, encouraging to the guys that are playing, but he says that right now Cason's just in a tough spot where he just does not have those available minutes, and that I don't feel that it's anything that he's not doing. It just feels like right now the coaching staff sees more value in the guys that are playing, and I mean, like I said, it's up to their prerogative. But
it's funny. I said at the beginning of the season, I said, y'all think Vangeli Zugers is the type of guy that's just a bench, just in case depth piece? I said he's the kind of guy that's going to be playing a lot more minutes at the latter end of the season than he is in the beginning of the season. He's too physical. He's too big. If he can get the basic fundamental aspects comfortable with what you do on the college floor, like that pound dribble move he makes, right? He takes his pound dribble and then keeps the ball low like he's James Harden. If you take that pound dribble 4 feet away from the basket, you immediately need to rise up with the ball up in your hands and just go crashing to the rim. He tries to have that little bit of a finesse type of a thing he does, and I guess that's something he was comfortable with overseas. It's not working for him over here, but he's getting to the rim. He's finding that slip on the roll. He's rolling at the perfect time. He's already caught that. He's already gotten comfortable with the pick and roll as the roll man. It's just a matter of him getting the right decision from that going forward, and he's slowly starting to pick it up. So I'm not mad at the Zugers minutes. Zugers plays harder than anybody on the team, right?
I think Zugers looks like every 80s villain in a basketball sports movie, like in a high school basketball sports.
Oh, he's definitely the dude from Teen Wolf.
You can tell the villain is
the bad teammate. Yeah, well, you remember the dude from Teen Wolf, Trev?
He looks
the basketball guy.
Every time I watch him play, I think of Channing Tatum and Coach Carter. He's also the one white dude on the ghetto team that can hold his own because he came up from the background too. He looks like a pure YMCA guy. I mean,
I love Zoo. I love Zoo though. He gives you everything he has. Like that little block shot he had at the end of the half, right?
Give me that.
Went to half.
Give me that.
Goes up, blocks it, yells to the crowd. I love his energy, man.
I get it, guys. Look at Zulu. Z-Man's got some energy. Pryor's got energy. There's one thing though they are lacking compared to maybe Roos or Hadley, and that's ability. Like energy's great. I prefer kind of ability sometimes more over in skill levels. And I'm not saying that Pryor and Z-Man are complete scrubs, but I mean, Pryor's still a below average offensive player. His best attribute is the fact that he can laterally play defense for his size, and it can be a matchup for Louisville with Hadley. We've talked about that, but Z's like 6'8". I mean, listen, he's the guy shows great heart. That's fine. But if he's in the game, we need to be up by like 17 or 18 points, okay? I mean, or if he wants to maybe give you maybe a minute or two while one of the good players takes a breath, or that's fine.
I think you're going to see him tonight. I
hope we see him tonight because that means
I don't think they're going to have a choice. Yeah, they don't have a choice. I mean, they're going to have to play those guys tonight against Duke, against that size, against Patrick Mbunga, against Boozer, against the rest of their big guys. You're going to see.
Fru's got to stay out of foul trouble. That's the key. Fru has to stay out of foul trouble. And 100%.
How do we feel about the Fru 3?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it if he's open. I mean, he
wasn't that open on that one too, and he knocked it down. I mean, it was open on the catch, but there was a closeout.
Now the question is, what is Duke going to do defensively? Because what we saw in the first game was that Duke let the big guy. They left Fru and Khalifa wide open in the first half. Now the second half, they played up extremely tight they played, not giving that space. If they play that way this time around with Michael Brown out there, that's going to leave driving lanes to the basket. So it'll be very interesting to see how Duke's defensive game plan goes forward. But I'm fine. I'm comfortable with Khalifa or Frew shooting the ball if they're open. I think you just have to make the defense pay if they're going to just let you stand out there with the ball.
Can't have another Sananda Frew.
Also look forward to the second half. The first 5 minutes of the game, the refs not taking us behind the back shed and doing a 12-inch dildo up our rear ends, because that's what they did in the last matchup by basically just calling everything. I mean, they slowed the entire pace of the game down in the second half by blowing the whistle at 8 times. I mean, we were in the bonus with like 16 minutes to play in the second half.
Yeah,
and it was the problem. And listen, I have no problem with you calling that, but they weren't calling it on the other side for at least the first 5 minutes of the game. Then after that, they evened it out, and it all comes out looking okay. And roses and Mountain Dew at the end in terms of the stats. But you can't watch that game and not tell you that the whistle was not just horrible on Duke's side. And Louisville has to avoid that. And I don't know why they can avoid it other than letting Pat Kelsey needs to get that technical or something. Because if we're getting that treated that way in the Center, God knows what they're going to do us in Cameron. I mean,
let's answer this question from King from Twitch here real fast. What do you all think the difference is between this year and last year with him? Talking about Kaysen Pryor, just that he played with a shot blocker last year. Kaysen did get to play the 4 in majority of the time he did play last year.
We barely saw Pryor though, really last year.
Yeah,
we
don't. I mean, he had a couple of blocks. He had a couple good steals. I remember he was getting steals out on the perimeter on those ball screens, trying to get his hand in between the ball handler and the screener before they felt it coming. He's probably kind of good about that, and he plays the passing lanes pretty well. The issue now is that he doesn't have that same twitch in those passing lanes and in some of those defensive moments. I think, though, like Zugris was what we thought was going to be the 4 to 5 minute player. Rashawn, Trevor, Kaysen Pryor can't be a 6 or 7 minute guy to come in there and offer some relief at the 4 or 5 position. That's kind of what I've, at this point, ACL, not maybe gathering the strength as an overall basketball player that that leads to a lot of things. You're not dribbling with the same confidence. You're not attacking the rim with the same confidence. You're not jumping with the same confidence. And if you're feeling like you're having a slowered recovery and all of that, and you're not where you thought you're going to be, you're maybe taking it easier than you would like to. I don't know. There's maybe some of that happening with Kaysen Pryor. I don't like to hound on guys that are coming off of a life-changing injury. With that being said, he played more minutes a month ago than he is seeming like you're capable of playing now, which just doesn't, that's what doesn't make sense to me. It's like he's not getting better at something they need him to get better at, and I haven't really pinpointed what that exactly is on the offensive or defensive side. Rashawn, I wonder if you have.
Well, I'll report quick. I will say is that one, we do have more depth at that spot right now than we did last year at this point. And two, again, we didn't get a sense. I mean, all the good that we talk about prior was just because it was just that last little Maui run that he had. Before that,
you might not have been that good to begin with.
Before that, Roman, he wasn't even doing good enough to. We didn't know how to pronounce his name properly. Okay, and so that therefore, he wasn't even at that level yet. So, but what he's done this year, I mean, I will say I'm a little surprised. I would like to see them more with some more Ali matchups in there. I think they'd be a nice little tandem at that 4-5 as the backup to Faru and Hadley, or like we said in different matchups like tonight where Duke is going to go bigger to use them. But the thing is with him is the thing he maybe brings best to the table with that energy is like what he did in the Duke game. I jokingly brought up a second ago with the whole head on the chest thing and getting the double technical on.
Yeah, you might as well amplify it if you're going to be that guy.
But that's kind of what he is. He's kind of there to kind of ruffle the feathers of your other guy and get under their skin. And, if he can hit a wide open 3 in the process, that's just sprinkles on top of my Sunday for his minutes. But
I think he's just ultimately not getting enough minutes. I wouldn't mind
seeing him get good 5 or 6 minutes depending on the matchup. But in most games, it hasn't stuck out to me that made me think that's cost us the game because he didn't play, any minutes.
So for me, I think the biggest difference this year versus last year is that his role is very much different. And what they're requesting and requiring of him to be this year is very different than what it was last year. Last year, Kaysen was brought in, and he honestly, from all intents and purposes, at the beginning of the year, he was the secondary kind of facilitator of the offense beside Chucky Hepburn. Chucky Hepburn was the point guard, and he was doing a lot of the creation. But when it wasn't Chucky, it was pretty much just let Kaysen have the ball
Shot creator.
and kind of just let him go off the bounce from the top of the key. This year, they're not doing that. They're basically saying, we want the ball in Michael's hands for 70% of the time. And if it's not in his hands, we want the ball in either Conwell's or Wooley's hands, which basically has moved Kaysen into a role where it's about efficiency. It's about being a catch and shoot big and being able to just play solid defense, rebound, and play smart. And that's the difference, is that that's not his fit. Unfortunately, that's not his fit. That's not where he makes his hay. That's not where he's been successful. And unfortunately, I think it's just a matter of fit. And he's really struggled to fit into the role that they want him to play this year. And I mean, honestly, I think that's the biggest deal. I don't think that Kaysen has changed as a player. It's what we're asking him to be and what we're asking him to do. I mean, he's not a space the floor, catch and shoot, 3-point stretch forward. That's just not his game.
Set the screen, fade, get the ball, pump fake, put it down to the floor, and get to the rim. He's a true shot creator before the injury coming into Louisville, right?
And defensively, he's a guy who likes to, be nosy, get into passing lanes,
because he's playing
gamble
those
for
fours.
steals.
Sometimes he'll switch it onto those threes.
Yes.
He's not playing the 5.
He's not an efficiency player. He is a usage player. He's a guy, the longer you're out there, he's going to make things happen. But you need him to come in and play quick minutes and be efficient. That's just not Kaysen Pryor's game. And unfortunately, I think that's why we've seen his minutes drop further and further. And unless the coaching staff decides that they're going to kind of switch it up and maybe let him be the primary facilitator, but now they have Ali Khalifa to do that for the reserves. Yeah. So they don't need, it's just Kaysen does not have a true fit this year. And I think of all the things, that's where the problem is, because his body type, his athleticism, his foot quickness is perfect for a team like Duke. But if he's going to be in there and give Louisville that, he's going to have to stay very disciplined to what we need him to be. And the question is, can he do that?
Now, Rashawn, but Roman, you brought some question over there, why would he come back if this was going to be the role he was given? And what Rashawn just said is perfect, because the thing is that the role that Rashawn described him having, this is a better team and a better chance at winning that team when he plays that role. If he wanted to be the other role and be the facilitator in a team like last year that wasn't as good as this team is, as complete as this team is this year, then he can go to another school and do that.
Notre Dame.
And be, in South Florida or whatever, and he can get those minutes, the Imani Bates theory, but he wants, I think it feels like he's accepting the fact that I'd rather be a winner. I want to be on a team that's going to win, have a chance at winning a national title. And if that's the case, and that's the role I have to play, whether it be cheering on the bench or a few minutes on the court and trying to be that kind of role player, then that's the role he's going to attempt to play. So kudos to him for doing that. And you're right, and Sean brought it up earlier. He hasn't sulked at all. You could almost think, no. When you talk about the kind of player that he is, that kind of guy that, everyone's going to hate him except for the team that he plays for kind of guy. He's been a great team player despite all this, maybe that stereotype, and kudos to him. I wish he'd be a better spot 3-point shooter. I really wish he could, because you put him at that 4 with Ali out there with those cutting guards, you're going to get wide open looks, at least 3 or 4 of them a game. Especially with Brown back. What's the phrase? They're chasing ball every half. When Brown's in the game, the defense is chasing the ball.
Yeah.
And when you're chasing the ball against a team that has as many good shooters and players as this team has, you are in trouble. That's going into the ocean with 2 cut arms. That's just not a good thing.
I just wish for Kaysen, to me, like I said, I agree with you, Trev. He's been a good teammate, and he's not been sulking. He's not been doing any of that. Yeah. He wants to be part of a winning team. I just wish that if Louisville could have had the opportunity, I don't have an issue with Big Zoo. I don't have an issue with Kaysen, but I do wonder if they would have been able to add a guy, because I know they were in for Baba Miller. If they could have had a guy like Baba come in, who's a 6'11", power forward.
Yeah, but Baba, I think, wants to be the guy who gets that shots, though. I don't think he's ready to play that role. You're talking about Cincinnati, right?
Yeah. But
he would have commanded some of those shots here with his freakish athletic ability.
His defensive ability, his rebounding ability, I think he could have greatly helped this team. Now, he definitely would have had to take a step back in terms of touches.
But he's also would have had better passers with him. He would have had a lot more looks off ball as a cutter, as a screener, as a pick and roll guy.
Yeah,
his life would have been better over here.
I mean, because right now it
probably
feels
more
like
efficient.
We'll see what it looks like tonight, but it still feels like, and you guys can tell me your opinion on this, but it still feels like Louisville is about one post player short of where they need to be to get to where you want them to be. Like I know they have post guys, but they need one of these post guys to step up and be what this team needs if they're going to make that run.
Well, are you wanting somebody to be a guy that can go one? Because that's not going to happen. I mean, for the Louisville's offense and production from their post is going to be off the distribution of guys like Brown and Conwell.
Oh, no, I'm not even talking about offensively. Louisville just needs a big guy who can come in, play the 4, and can defend at a competent level against these bigger teams and can rebound. If you have a guy that can defend, rebound, that's pretty much all you need. You don't even, that's what you need.
Roos. I mean, that's where Roos should be the guy. 6'8".
You're talking about Kanai.
Yeah, but I mean, right now they need it.
You don't have
bring up Baba Miller, that Cincinnati game. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's the first game this year where Hadley really was exposed defensively in that smaller lineup, and that was in one of those games where it felt like the coaching staff almost refused to take him out, and for Miller getting injured,
every team that Louisville has played a bigger game, he's gotten exposed. He got exposed against, even in the Memphis game. The only reason Louisville played so well and blew out Memphis is because Louisville was hitting a ton of threes in that game. Memphis couldn't shoot at all. But if you look at the numbers, Javon Hadley got murdered in the paint in that game.
Yeah. We've had a couple bad ones.
Memphis has had their way. Every bigger team has had their way with Javon at the 4. And like I said, I love Hadley, and I definitely think he commands minutes, but I feel like it's one of those things where it needs to be, if Javon's going to play 32 minutes per game, 33 minutes per game, I would argue that at least half of those minutes need to be at the 3. Give me 18.
60% of them. 60% of them.
Give me 18.
He's been struggling defensively at the 4. He can't play the 3.
He's played a lot of 3 with Michael being out. He's played the 3 and even the point in some of these games.
And that didn't work out well.
Wait, you guys talking about Khalifa?
No, I'm talking about Hadley.
Hadley. No. Javon Hadley's been playing the 3 the last few games.
Yeah, Hadley's been playing with these bigger lineups. Hadley's been playing a lot more of the 3, and I think that's where you have to play him against these bigger teams, because I think Javon has to be out there because of his defense and just his intelligence on the court. I think he has to be out there. I just think it needs to be more selective with your minutes with a guy like Isaac McNeely and a guy like Adrian Woolley. Like, to me, you can kind of tell during a game if McNeely has it or not in a game. You can tell if Woolley has it or not in the game. Whoever it doesn't have it that night, to me, you should fill Javon's minutes with those guys, taking away from – if Isaac starts the game and he's 0 for 6, how about we back off the minutes for Isaac, let Javon move in some of those minutes, and then we'll slide in whoever you want at the 4.
And these are all luxuries we can have when Brown plays. Because when Brown's out, we don't have the luxury.
Here's another luxury we can have when Brown plays. That's a great point, Trevor. Don't be afraid to send McNeely's ass to the bench. That's what I think he needs to also feel. You've got Michael back. You've got your second ball handler in Ryan Conwell. If McNeely's having trouble staying in front of his man and he's not hitting shots, get Adrian Woolley in there, because I think Adrian Woolley is another one of those players that the more minutes he plays within a game, the better he is going to get throughout that game. He misses a couple shots because coming off the bench.
But Woolley can be hot and cold too, though, because sometimes he looks like he looks a little confused. He looks a little tentative. He looks like he's afraid to be aggressive. But
defensively, it's never that.
No, never.
McNeely looks lost defensively occasionally.
I agree with that.
And against Duke tonight, you can't afford that. You can't afford many possessions of Isaac McNeely being lost or being too small for his man. That's just what I think. And then on the flip side, I think you get a better ball handler in terms of attacking the rim. Granted, the decision making between the two.
I don't want to see Isaac McNeely guarding Dame Sarr or Isaiah Evans much tonight. I don't. Isaiah Evans torched Isaac McNeely last game. And that's something to where Woolley can be out there. But you know what? The thing is, the problem with Woolley in a lot of these bigger games is that he's picked up early fouls. And that's been an issue with him picking up early fouls in these games. And now he's on the bench with 2 fouls early, and you're having to have Isaac McNeely out there unless you're going to move Javon to that 3 spot and play a little bit bigger. So it's going to be a chess match depending on how things go tonight.
They tried to put Isaac in every action last game. Great point, King. Go ahead, Trevor.
I was going to say, Rashawn's surprised hasn't suggested something I was kind of thinking about with tonight's strategy, since he's the one that actually brought it up in the last press conference, was, I've jokingly said this team reminded me a little bit of the 97 Arizona Cardinals, the way they were built with the 3-guard rotation, and got like A.J. Bramlett out there running the big man like Farouk. I'll name drop for you. And that team got beat in 98 when a man, God love a fat white guy, Rick Majerus, came up with a great game plan. Run a little triangle 2 on them. Let's shut down Mike Dickerson and shut down Jason Terry and Miles Simon. I'm not saying run the triangle 2, but I could see kind of a box and 1 kind of throw some junk Z defenses at this Duke team, because Cameron Boozer is the one that I'm most worried about. I know the guy who travels 9 out of 10 times killed us last game. And the guy gets more fucking mileage than George Clooney and Up in the Air. So I'm not worried. I'm worried more about Cameron Boozer. And when I think about that, I think about maybe throwing a couple of junk. You pointed out the 1-3-1 that they use. Not, I don't know if I'd call it a junk defense, but it's kind of anything outside 2-3 is kind of a junk defense, right? Would you agree? Maybe.
Yeah, it's niche. Yeah. It's very.
I want to go like
niche.
this, but the kids don't think this means something else. This means so.
1-3-1 smooth. If 1-3-1 smooth, if everybody is hustling hard, but
they did a great job with
maybe a little boxing 1 or triangle 2 out there. Maybe really fuck with their Duke's head.
I mean, you know what? That matchup 1-3-1, he only ran it for a possession, but they looked really comfortable in it. They had Michael Brown in the middle of the 1-3-1, which was interesting. They had Hadley at the top, at the point of the 1-3-1, and then had McNeely, Conwell, and Frew in the back. Mm-hmm. So it was a different kind of setup, but it worked. It worked really well. They ended up forcing an errant lob pass, but I think you may have to do a little bit of that. Coach Kelsey has been very staunch in the fact that he does not play zone. So I thought the fact that he came out of in that zone for that one possession, I had to ask him about it. And I think that I agree with you, Trev. I think it could work, in some, in spots. I like the fact that he's throwing that out there, because you know what, now Duke has to prepare for that. And they have to prepare for that 1-3-1. So at least it's in their heads that, hey, this is something else that they may throw out there. So I like it.
We talked about this last year on the show, at least I brought up multiple times, was looking into the season of how effective we would be defensively compared to last year, just from losing Chucky Hepburn. I mean, just not only he's an on-ball defender, but as well as his ability to play team defense was off the charts. Yeah, and he was defensively what Michael Brown is to this team offensively. Like, he just made everyone better defensively around him. But why he played just as supporting, not only playing his man, but supporting the others. And I think, you see it this year. I mean, we can't, it's not as easy to stick man to man, because we're now seeing, matchups with Hadley problems. Frew's okay defensively. I'm not going to say he's bad, but I'm not going to gush over him either in multiple times. And Ollie, well, we're not going to start that on that rant again. I mean, we already talked about Isaac.
He's so mean, though. But he's so mean.
Isaac's got the white man curse. He can't, he's lucky to be sneaky athletic, And then, Conwell's average. Brown is somewhat average. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not that I'm more of a preferred man-to-man guy too, but maybe in some cases to protect his team, especially getting into foul trouble, the zone wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, especially if you're just throwing it out there for 2 or 3 possessions in a half. I'm not even saying back to back to back.
Yeah.
They get a bucket, they're coming down, or you guys get a layup, they have to come all the way down. Maybe you just out of nowhere throw it in. Or ball goes out of bounds. There's 16 seconds on the shot clock. Random, throw it in there. And you do maybe that once or twice again in the second half. And then sometimes it's a 2-3 and sometimes it's a 1-3-1. And it's never more than 6 possessions in a game. That's all we're asking for. That can be the difference in the offense coming down there and waiting that half second as a ball handler to see what they're in. Caleb Foster did not have to at all question what was happening. Oh, this guy's in front of me. I can get by him. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to get by him. And that's exactly what he did. We cannot let Caleb Foster get to the rim at will tonight, because that just opens up additional aspects of their game. That's not something that they utilize. Caleb Foster is not a go-to scorer off the dribble.
The only game where they've done that all year was the Louisville game, where they basically cleared it out and let Caleb Foster go one-on-one and get to the rim over and over and over again.
Can't let that happen tonight. Can't let that happen tonight. He's the only player on the floor that could truly do that for them with his ball handling ability. Now, Sarr out on the wings as a closeout guy in transition, that's different, right? You got to be able to slide your feet with him. Caleb Foster, if they're going to try to slow down the offense, that's a moment right there, right? You throw it in there like that, the next time down, he has to see if they're going to do that again, because they did it halfway through the defensive possession. Whoa, right? That can be the difference maker in changing the way the point guard comes down the floor and looks at the defense every time down.
Rashawn, you've always been more of a more positive guy, even obviously not during KP era, because no one outside of being mentally handicapped could be positive during that. But you've always kind of leaned on the positive. How important is kind of getting a win like Duke tonight for this Louisville team and Coach Kelsey? I mean,
great question.
I mean, just because I talked about it before the Kentucky game that I don't care what Kentucky's season ends up being. You needed that win. It was that I feel like we're that important for this fan base. We don't have too many like signature wins ahead of on our schedule right now. I mean, do we have North Carolina? I don't know. I don't have it memorized, so don't hold me to it. But I'm pretty sure this is one of maybe less than a handful that is left before possible ACC tournament postseason play. How important is it to get the win? Because right now he's getting that kind of but you don't want that Petrino stigma of, oh, you can beat up all these little guys, but he's like 1-8 versus top 20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think that, Louisville has, several quad one wins on their resume, and they had several quad one wins last year. But the one thing that Coach Kelsey has yet to do is beat a team that legitimately is a second weekend Elite Eight, Final Four type of team. And that's the thing that in his 2 years, he does not have that type of win yet. And I think it's huge because, the big stigma about Louisville last year was that they beat all the teams that they should have beat. They were able to beat Clemson twice, but all of the legit serious contenders, they did not win any of those games. And this year, Louisville's pretty much gotten off to that same start where they've beaten all of the good teams that they've played, but any of the great teams or any of the elite teams, they've lost all of them. They lost to Arkansas, they lost to Tennessee, they lost to Duke, and you cannot. He needs to get one of these. He needs it. Like even Chris Mack had his Michigan State big win.
He won at Duke.
He's won at Duke. He's had big wins. Like Coach Kelsey has not had that big signature win yet. They thought that maybe it was Indiana last year, and then of course we saw Indiana fell off a cliff.
Kentucky was a big fan win. That was a big fan base win. I feel like that was big for the city, and it was big for the fans.
But Kentucky's not a team that's challenging for an Elite Eight or a Final Four. Let's just be honest, they aren't. And I think that he needs that.
It was still needed though.
Louisville needs. Oh, absolutely, it definitely is needed. But I think that if Louisville wants to be considered a legit, we've taken that next step as a program. Like Louisville right now has just we've shown that we're legitimate. Like we're a legitimate basketball team. We're back. The KP shit is over with. We're back, but we're not to be taken seriously yet as a serious contender. And that's what a win like Duke can do. Like if you can get that win against Duke on the road, especially, that changes the whole narrative. To me, if you do that, especially with the fact that Michael Brown Jr. is now back, everybody forgets about every loss over the last month and a half, honestly. I think that's what it does for you. You'll see Louisville right back in that top 15, pushing for the top 10, and people are ignoring the Virginia loss. They're ignoring the Stanford loss. They're all going to just say, you know what? That was without Michael Brown Jr. This is the legitimate Louisville team. So, I mean, I think that's what's on the table if they can find a way to get that win. You do that, all is forgiven, and Louisville's back to being a Final Four contender.
Trevor, great part. You said Michael didn't play. What was Michael's only loss with him in? Was that not? I thought it was Tennessee when you said
it was Arkansas. It was Arkansas.
I got my SEC rednecks mixed
up. Yeah. Arkansas was the game. Just he didn't have a great game. He had a first half.
Didn't he get in foul trouble early in that game? Then
he just did not have a good game.
He had a good second half.
He had a good second half, but you got down 18, 17, however many it was.
What good is that? Yeah.
And you're, playing.
All right,
I
Trevor.
vaguely remember the game. That was
Trevor,
after the Cincinnati game.
What does a Louisville win look like tonight on the floor if they get it done?
Like sweet apple pie. A movie reference there for you. I think it needs Brown to play well. I mean, and I don't mean impacting and just in points, but just being on the court and raising guys. Like, I think Frew has to have a solid game. I think Conwell has to. Someone else other than Brown has to hit some threes here and there. And you mentioned, I think I can't remember if you or both of you brought it up. They can't let Duke just get in the lane at willy nilly. And now again, I have the amount of times I got to go to the free throw line on the hand checking in the early calls of the second half of the last game were bullshit, and hopefully I don't think that should be a factor. But it doesn't. It's not the end result. I'm not saying it changed a lot of the momentum of the game, and Louisville never got a really chance, I thought, to bounce back from it entirely in that game. But hopefully that won't be an issue tonight. And if it's not, then Louisville needs to keep them off the free throw line and just be efficient offensively. And just be and with Brown in the game, I have no problems with that. As he's playing, I just feel comfortable going into the game. Kind of like, when you're a Chiefs fan, when you got Mahomes at quarterback or something, or Tom Brady at quarterback. I feel just much more warm and cozy inside knowing about this game.
Rashawn, what does it look like for a Louisville victory tonight?
Fair. For me, I think that this comes down to a couple of things. Playing bigger is a must. I agree with you, Roman. Like, Isaac McNeely minutes should be, determined by how well he's shooting the ball. If he's shooting a hot basketball, give him more minutes. If he's struggling, got to get Adrian Woolley out there because of what he's going to give you defensively. I think that the foul trouble really, really turned that game in Duke's favor the second half of the first half, as well as the whole second half. Just Duke was in the bonus with about 13, 14 minutes to go in the second half.
No, you ain't being facetious. You're speaking the truth.
Your hands were tied behind your back defensively the whole second half. Duke took complete advantage of it. To me, this comes down to this. You let Cameron Boozer get his. You let him go one-on-one, throw Zoo at him, throw Frew at him, throw Case Pryor at him. You let him go one-on-one, but you cannot let Isaiah Evans, you cannot let Dame Sarr, you cannot let Caleb Proctor and those other guys beat Foster. You. To me, you shut Foster. Thank you. You shut down all those guys, stay pushed out on them. I don't think Cameron Boozer can beat Louisville by himself, but you've got to play smart and you got to stay out of foul trouble. If they can do that, they'll have a shot for the upset tonight.
And one of the things, and not only just if you're going to make a Foster and Evans and guys beat you, not let beat Boozer, make them beat you from the 3-point line. Even if you're letting them take some open shots early, dare them to make it. Because it's not a great three. I mean,
that's not Evans.
Evans is the only great 3-point shooter they have.
Don't dare Evans, but dare everybody else.
I mean, Boozer. Plus, the other thing, and it drives me insane, is that this Louisville team is not a great defensive rebounding team. And you can't let them have 5, 6, 7 opportunities. Yeah. Games like Virginia Tech, you might be able to give up and still win games. When you're playing against a team like Duke, you cannot give them 3, 4, and multiple opportunities on multiple possessions. Louisville did that last game as well, and it was.
I don't want to see more than 10 minutes.
You got to limit them the possessions.
There should not be more than 10 minutes is too much. There shouldn't be more than 6 to 8 minutes of Javon Hadley at the 4. Shashawn, even without Kenai Roos. Even without Kenai Roos, that means play the game whichever way it means, with the Ali Khalifa at the minutes at the 4, with the Pryor getting maybe 2 or 4 minutes in this one, with the Zugris getting maybe 6 to 8 minutes in this one, right? That you have to. You cannot afford to let them get 3 offensive rebounds in a row and then an and one. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Agreed. You just can't. You can't do it tonight. I think that's going to be huge. But you got to keep those Isaiah Evans moments down. If Evans gets over 20, Louisville loses. I'm just going to put it out there like that. If Isaiah Evans hit the 20-point mark, Louisville can't win.
At least he says Duke's not going to cover. Louisville wins on the road.
I'll add to that, Rashawn. If Sananda Frew If Sananda gets over the 15-point mark tonight, I think Louisville can get a victory.
That's a huge call. So that was Sananda worst game as a Louisville Cardinal.
2 points,
against Duke.
4 rebounds.
He was terrible against Duke. If Sananda can show up tonight
with
and have a
strong
strong
but
game,
being in foul trouble, Rashawn.
Yeah.
With Ngong but being in foul trouble.
Yeah, he looked completely overwhelmed the first time around. So I agree with that. That's a good call, Rome. If Frew shows up, that will greatly increase the Cards' chances tonight.
Oh,
we get
Brown's
a Frew double-double.
Well, Frew's going to play well, trust me.
That's true. That's a
good
great point as well.
Great
Trevor.
point.
Yeah. All right, Trevor, Kelsey, Rashawn Myers, before we get out of here, I've got to ask you, Trevor, we'll start with you. Actually, Rashawn, we'll start with you first.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a score prediction and a player of the game tonight for this matchup against Duke.
Score prediction tonight, give me Duke 82-78. I think that Louisville will play better. I think Michael's going to show up. I think he's going to go for over 20. I think the superstar freshman is going to show up. I just feel like Boozer down the stretch, some foul trouble. I think that ends up being the bugaboo in the end, but I do think that the Cardinals will show up tonight. Duke will not cover that 8.5, I believe, is where it sits right now. I don't think they'll cover that 8.5, but I do think they'll get out with a close win. I'm
kind of the Rashawn on this one. I don't know Trevor. If I give the actual score. I think Duke doesn't cover. I think Duke wins by 3. I think we get a Brown or a Conwell missed shot at the buzzer to tie it, and it doesn't go in. But I think Louisville definitely is a back and forth game. I feel like our journey is being set to us beating them in the ACC tournament.
There you go.
Like that's when I think we finally get our redemption on them in a neutral site.
My opinion probably would be different if Kanai Roos was playing tonight, honestly. But I think
Cards win tonight.
If he a game, I'd
Cards
love to have,
W tonight, fellas. Give me the Cards. Give me them to. I won't say that. Give me a Cards victory by 4 tonight. Sananda Frew, player of the game, 19 points, 9 rebounds. I called it. Give me Sananda Frew.
Hey, if Sananda gets 19 and 9, then Louisville will win tonight. If Sananda goes 19 and 9.
When best to pick the white guy. I'm going McNeely with the good game tonight. He gets the spot shots. He gets 6 threes tonight. That helps us stay in the game. But we fall by 3.
No, give me the Cards by 4. Cards get the victory in this one in a low scoring affair. Rashawn, 78-74 in this one. Sananda Frew has 19 of those 78 points. Javon Hadley, another double-double or 10-point double-digit scoring outing as well. We need him to have one of those in this game, forcing the issue in the interior. But ultimately, our freshman is going to lead us to the promised land with his 14 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists in this matchup tonight, fellas. I can't wait. I'm excited. It's time for Pat Kelsey to get this first W. I say this. I mean, obviously, I know that the chances of us losing in Cameron Indoor is very, very high. They are 8.5-point favorites for a reason. We don't have our most athletic player on our roster in this game here tonight. Those will all be factors that I know will be alive. I also really do kind of like, I'm trying to make myself believe Sananda Frew can have this game because we saw what happened last time out. We saw it. 2 points, 4 rebounds. He shot twice.
He was terrible.
2 shots from
his
the field,
first shot. He almost fell down. The first time he shot the ball, he almost fell down. He was so off balance.
Every time he caught it inside the paint, he bounced off somebody and pretty much lost the ball, right? And I know that, like, I can't expect him to go out there and have his game of the season against Duke. I really do think he can go out there and give us a strong 14, 16 points, 7, 8 rebounds, ideally 10 rebounds. He's just forces himself to be on the glass. 6 of those points come on the offensive glass as well on the night, which is kind of why I'm getting up to the higher teens of his scoring output. But if he can have a performance like that, with the double big out there and providing some kind of help for him, whether that's Ali Khalifa putting a body on Cameron Boozer, which I can't even do that. I feel like we're going to get a bunch of Javon Hadley minutes at the 4 tonight because they're too scared to put Ali Khalifa out there at the 4 and just to see what happens. So I get that, but I do think the Cards can pull one out.
Double team Boozer, then you might as well leave Hadley in there for defense.
True.
I like it. Ali Khalifa 1-on-1 Cam Boozer, baby. Let's go.
Let's get it.
Put me on.
Let's get it. Leave Ali in the game. He can hey, look. Make Cameron come out to the perimeter and beat you off the dribble alley. Because I believe
if Ollie wasn't 26 years old, that'd be child. You could call CPS on that. I mean, that would just be abusive. Boozer. I mean, Boozer's.
I don't know what we're gonna do with Boozer tonight. I don't know what
you
we're
let
gonna
him
do
have
with
it,
Boozer
man. Let him get 35 and 20. Just shut down everybody else.
He had 27 and 8 against us in the first matchup.
That's fine.
He hit 3 threes, and he's not much.
But how many points did Isaiah Evans score in the first game?
23.
There we go. That right there cannot happen.
That was the difference. Yeah, that was not some electric crazy first half, if I'm remembering correctly.
No,
let's look here. First half box. Okay, he had Isaiah Evans had 13 in the first half. He did hit 3 threes.
You cannot. That's the one guy you cannot let go crazy. He is the secret sauce that why Duke has a chance to win it all. You shut him down, you shut down Duke. You're not going to stop Boozer.
How do you shut him down without?
You just got to be dead on the catch. You got to be there on the catch.
I don't think Isaac Bailey can be on the floor if it's a chance of him having to guard a Sarr and or Evans at the same time. If they're both on the floor at the same time, get Adrian William there, get Michael Brown.
Every time Isaac Manili was out there, Duke went at him every time. Every time Isaac Manili was on.
They're going to do it again. Shire sticks to game plan. He'll stick to a game plan if he thinks that's something that's work. If there's something that does work, he will pound it home.
Yes.
And you can't let that be Isaac McNeely on the defensive end tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Fellas, appreciate you guys joining me here for this Real Spill Live show. Trevor Kelsey, our co-host, Roman Kelly, our host here, Rashawn Myers, our lovely special guest, joining us pretty often on the Real Spill show.
Well, with all this snow, I'm watching it right here, but you know what time it is.
I have the most unprofessional studio setup of this group, by the way. Like you, I don't know. You kind of look like you went when I did like my prison calls and where you're at. But at least Roman's got like the setup going on behind him.
I have a very sanitary background. It's terrible. It's very
I've got Chuck Bednarik behind me.
I like that. See, I got to give me some pictures for the wall, man. It's terrible.
Yeah, I need to
redo them a little bit. I got the '86 Louisville Championship game though facing me.
There you go. Well, you see, at least you see what I'm wearing, Trev.
I got the shirt.
I got my old school Sugar Bowl Cardinals Gators.
Did you go to Sugar Bowl?
I did not. This was a gift by somebody who went down there. I did not.
I'm amazed you didn't go to that.
I know that's the one big game I missed. I was because
you were in Atlanta with us when we did the Final Four show because we were at you did the show with me down at the wannabe Hooters.
Yes, down there at Twin Peaks.
Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember what it was called. Yeah.
But I appreciate it, fellas, man. Thank y'all so much. Y'all got to have me back.
Yes, of course. We'll have you back here as soon as we possibly can. I will be going live tonight to do a potential post-game show, or we will be doing a post-game show. We've got a couple more people we're going to introduce to the Real Spill team as well, just people that are going to be coming on and joining us for some more post-game shows going forward and some watch-alongs going forward that we're going to try to get incorporated for some more Louisville events or just fun sporting events, whether that be in the professional levels as well, like a Super Bowl watch-along or something of the sorts. We're going to have a couple people join up
Super
here.
Bowl? Jesus Christ.
On the boring show on the Real Spill podcast tonight. It's not going to be a Real Spill Live. This is the Real Spill Live show, our official show between Trevor Kelsey, Roman Kelly, and Kendall Fuller, joined today by Rashawn Myers. But we were going to do a, kind of on-the-fly post-game show just on the channel potentially here tonight. So you guys maybe will see us again tonight. Appreciate all 750 of you guys joining us on X right now, watching on the live stream that goes to there. We've got about 4 people on the YouTube watching from there. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy. You guys are probably subscribers if you're watching. And then the one Twitch viewer, King, appreciate you joining us on the Twitch side. He says, and me. Yes, we were going to get
thanks,
King. Don't worry.
Appreciate you.
Thank you keeping the stream up and going, probably preventing it from like crashing and deleting itself with your one viewer every stream. But this is going to wrap us up on the Real Spill Live show. Trevor Kelsey, Roman Kelly, joined today by Rashawn Myers. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in and listening. Give us a retweet. Send it to your group chats. Let some other people watch it and enjoy Trevor's banter here today. But back soon.